Hello, my name is Karen Hollenbach. This is the first chapter of the Elevate Map, a reflective journey for professionals like you who want to show up on LinkedIn with clarity, purpose, and dare I say, grace. Every one of us reaches a moment when the way we've been showing up or not showing up no longer fits. A LinkedIn profile written years ago feels like an old coat. The feed feels too loud. There's a whole lot of people posting humble brags. And the confidence we hold privately doesn't always make it into the spaces where our work is most visible. So this series was made for that season of becoming. It's not a productivity tool. It's not a post more program. What a relief. It's a slower companion, a lantern held a few steps ahead, guiding you back to intention. Today, we begin with the quietest step of all, pausing. LinkedIn can be overwhelming. Notifications ping, posts cascade, connections multiply faster than we can meaningfully respond to them. That's if they're not sitting there waiting for you to accept the invitation to connect. And before we know it, we're caught in a loop. And LinkedIn's become more like social media. We're scrolling, liking, posting, or perhaps we're frozen and we're not doing anything at all because we're not asking ourselves why. So I believe there's real power in pausing before you spend time on LinkedIn, before you comment, before you show up, simply because someone told you that you should. Or it's a self-imposed feeling that you've put on yourself, another task on your never-ending list of to-dos. And many professionals come to me with that sense of obligation, and they might have contacted me ages ago, and then when we finally connect or they book an intro chat, they'll say, I'm so sorry, it's taken me so long. And I've learnt that LinkedIn is on people's important, not urgent to-do list, and that's okay. There is absolutely no rush. I want to move you away from this pressure to feeling like you need to post more, to comment every day, and to optimize everything. That mentality, that sort of thought process is not going to serve you well. So hopefully this feels like a breath of fresh air, or maybe even it's resulting in a dropping of the shoulders and a sigh. It's like, what a relief. There could be a different way to navigate LinkedIn. Yes, there is. So these pressures aren't wrong. They're just incomplete. And my concern is that they lead to disconnection, so being disconnected from yourself, overwhelm, and really a strange feeling of being absent from your own online presence. So LinkedIn can become meaningful when you use it intentionally, not to feed an algorithm, not to tick another one of those to-dos on your checklist of things to do, but as an honest extension of who you are and what matters now. So when I shared that idea with you, one client comes to mind, and I want to share with you what sort of her experience was on LinkedIn and for you to think about how that relates to you. So she was posting regularly, doing all the right things, and yet nothing was really resonating, not with her audience and not with herself. So she definitely had that feeling of being disconnected. And so when we finally stopped and she actually booked a LinkedIn health check and mentoring session, I asked two really simple questions of her that I'd also like you to consider. Why are you here? Why are you spending time on LinkedIn? And what do you want to be known for? And when I asked those two questions, everything really started to shift. As we talked through what this looked like for her and what this meant for her, she realized that she didn't need to post more. She needed to post with intention. So posting less is not just better. Less You might have heard the saying less is more. Well, I think also less is better, but it's not about posting yet. We'll move to that in a different phase of what we're talking about today, in a different chapter is what I mean by that. Really, at the moment, it's just about your mindset and thinking about, well, why am I even spending time on LinkedIn? So she refined her profile and she realized that if she was going to post, she was going to post with intention, with personality, and with clarity. So she refined her profile, as I mentioned. She curated her feed, which we're going to talk about in one of the chapters. And she focused on meaningful engagement rather than constant activity. And in that small shift, her presence became lighter, more aligned, and more her. And that's your uniqueness, you. And this is at the heart of the Elevate map, discovering intention before action. And this chapter is part 1 of several parts. I think there's 3 in total. I should know that off the top of my head, but there's 14 chapters that I'm going to guide you through each week to help move you from this discovery step into refining, into connecting, and then into amplifying, if that's for you. And we're going to work at the pace that works for you, because presence without purpose is just noise, and presence with intention becomes impact. So I really do believe that even the smaller deliberate act can reshape the way you show up. One thoughtful comment, one intentional connection, one post that feels truer than performative. And because this series weaves the literary into the practical, so I'm going to provide prompts from literature, so poetry, maybe the books I'm reading at the moment. This particular chapter invites you to spend time with Mary Oliver's poem, The Summer Day. Now, you'll need to go to the link in the notes that come with this chapter because of copyright rules. This particular poem is not part of the public domain, so I would be breaking copyright laws if I were to read it out to you. So what I would like you to do is go to the notes, read it slowly, and let the final question echo inside you. You may already be familiar with this poem. I've certainly read a number of authors that reference this poem. It's related to what you will do with this one wild and precious life. Then consider how it speaks to your life and to your presence online. Are you using LinkedIn intentionally or simply reacting to its demands? So here's your reflective prompt for this chapter. Back to LinkedIn to do some of that thinking, to think about that client that I mentioned and what's your version of that. What role is LinkedIn playing in your life right now? And what role would you like it to play? Now, I really encourage you to write it down. I'm a big fan of the journal. Let the answer be honest. Let it surprise you. All the answers are within. And this is really where our journey together begins, not with urgency, not with optimization, although we'll get to that, but with clarity. And when you're ready, Chapter 2 will be available depending on when you're tuning into this. I'm publishing these weekly, but depending on when you've discovered this resource for your LinkedIn journey, it could be available to you as soon as you're finished this chapter. There is no rush. The path will unfold quietly, steadily, one considered step at a time.